cooperative is, I mean, this includes some of the best apple growers in the world from multiple regions. It's not isolated to one state or one growing region. It's really a cross opco approach to growing this variety in particular. Does the Next Big Thing cooperative, are you solely focused on the success of the SweetTango?
The thing about the group is that we are test orchards for other fruit breeding programs around the world that are trying to get us to be involved with, raising their particular variety or their apples. And it's a, kind of a feather in our cap that we are chosen to be part of that. The other side of that coin, though, is that, when the co-op was formed, back in 06, 07, it was that, yes, we are going to research. We are going to look for apples that would fit, into our program. But the but on this was that the apple that we are testing has to be better than SweetTango. It cannot be as good because we've got as good in SweetTango. It has to be better than SweetTango. So in all the years that we've been testing apples and sampling apples across the United States, nothing's been better than SweetTango. And that is, I think, a credit to SweetTango in itself that, there's nothing better. And I mean, when you get 45 guys in a room and we're sampling apples and everybody goes, well, that's good. Oh, that's good. And then but it's not any better. It's not even maybe even as close to SweetTango. So it's like, we've sampled hundreds of apples and it's like, well, nothing's as good as this one. So let's just keep going. We'll keep researching and keeping the door open, although there's nothing as good as the one we've got. So what do? You just keep on trying.
I love that. And it really humanizes the process. It makes it, as I listen to you tell that story, it feels almost grassroots in a way. It's just, we've got Apple experts from all over coming in, testing it and testing the flavor, and being able to say, hey, it's not better than. So I think that's really great. But how are you as a farmer, how are you, or a grower, able to maintain top quality and ensure that SweetTango has that, that it's the superior apple? How are you able to do that year after year with all of those variables that are thrown at you, through Mother Nature and the industry of agriculture as a whole?
Great question. And what we've been trying to do here at Pine Tree, and some of this technology I've picked up across the United States if I traveled, is that, some of the main elements is that we're trying to reduce risk. So one way that we do reduce risk is we have trickle irrigation on all our high value apples. So SweetTango gets a drip of water practically every day throughout the summer because Minnesota was going through a drought. And so we had the trickle irrigation running. The other thing that we have that in our neck of the woods here around in Minnesota on the eastern side is that we get bad storms. So what I've done in the past is I've put up hail netting to protect the trees of the SweetTangos from hail. And it does work. We've had hailstorms and have not had any damage to the trees. The other thing is that as we grow the fruit, and we've only been growing it for, let's say, since 08, which is 20 years or so thereabouts. It is interesting that you only get one shot at growing it a year, and different problems come up, and that's where I think the co-op has been very good. Is handling these problems, from one area of the United States maybe to the other area that these people have seen that problem and they make aware that you watch out, you may see this coming down the road. So the sharing of information across the United States has been very beneficial. But trying to reduce the risk and once the trees came out of their juvenile years, let's say from when they're planted until about 5 or 6 years old, uh, the tree has settled down and made the apple maybe a little bit easier to grow, because early on there were certain problems with the tree as being very, very aggressive, and the apples were maybe a little bit on the softer side. And so we've weathered that storm, and now we've really figured out how we can grow these to the best quality for the consumer.